Hello and welcome to Leg Up Travel. It's been a minute since I put out a longer video than a short. So today I'm going to take a short hike on the Marshall Swamp Trail, part of the Ocala National Forest area, or at least near it, very close to it. I believe it is part of it. So it's about an hour to 2 hour hike there and back. So I'm going to take you along. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit notifications bell, leave a message, and share. Every little bit helps. The likes, the subscribes, everything, messages, everything like that helps my channel out a lot, and I appreciate you. We're over 366, I believe, subscribers, and I appreciate all of you and any future subscribers. So let's get going and check out this trail. So you see here is the sign, and you just follow the orange blaze up there in the left-hand corner, and we're going to head right in. Now there's different ways of getting to different points on this trail, and this is one of the longest. So this is kind of like a little bit of the approach trail, if you want to call it that. And you see the orange blaze right there. So you just stay on it. Yeah, so this is like an approach trail, like I was saying. And I would say it's like maybe a mile. I don't even think that. Maybe a half a mile before you actually start getting towards the swamp. Now, Florida is in a drought, and in my area, it's in a severe drought. So I doubt there'll be any water. And if there is, it'll be very little. And but I think a lot of it will be dried up when we get out that way. So out here, there will be normally squirrels, birds of different types, snakes, and any other type of like raccoons and deers and stuff like that. Now, the one thing about the swamp is it's very dark water. It's almost like still stagnant black water. And there's some fish in there, mostly smaller fish. And but there is no alligators. And the reason why that is because there's no real food source for them, and it's very shaded. And the alligators have to get their blood warmed up before they can actually move around. That's why you always see them sunbathing and resting. They're just getting the blood warmed up so they can function. And with no sunlight, or very little, it's not going to happen out here. So you don't have to worry about any alligators laying around or approaching any on the swamp trail. This is basically your biggest enemy out here is going to be mosquitoes and ticks. And the trail is pretty well maintained, where your possibility of getting ticks is pretty low, but still there, and mosquitoes quite a bit. But we've had some freezing weather, so they're not around. So this is a perfect day to hike. It's about 72 and partly sunny, so it's a beautiful day to hike. Got a bottle of water with me, and off we go. Hope you enjoy. So I don't have any backpacker on or anything like that, or slack pack or anything, because it's just a short 1 to 2 hour hike there, 1 to 2 hour hike back. I've done it once before, and I've done it partially quite a lot, but only fully once. So we're going to check it out. And this is a little bit of a exercise for me for my future AT endeavor again, which I'm shooting for May 5th, Cinco de Mayo Day, to hit the AT again. So, and plan to make it to Fontana Dam, which is where I initially planned on making it till my knee and blisters. I'm going to be trading up some of my gear, getting a better mattress, sleeping pad. That's key, since I slept like 2 to 3 hours every day only. It was rough. And also getting some different trail runners. So these, I love them, but these kind of tore my feet up a little bit. I'm kind of back and forth on it if I'm going to take them again, but I think I'm more leaning to get some newer, different ones that are going to be a little better, because I just don't want to take the chance of tearing up my feet again. So, because I had some pretty big blisters on my feet. So, that being said, I don't want to go through that again. Well, mostly on my pinky toe. Yeah, bad ones. So, but I'm going to be ready on May 5th, and I'm probably going to get a better pair, hopefully a better pair of trail runners and hike. I'm looking forward to it again. God, I love being out in that nature like that on the Appalachian Trail. And a couple of my friends are going to be joining me, some for a few days, some for the whole trip. And I'm looking forward to that as well. So like I said, that's going to start around May 5th or 6th. And so please stay tuned and check in on the channel. And I hope that you will enjoy that journey with me. So you see now the trail's a little wider. And we're coming towards the main part that heads to the swamp. We'll have a little crossroad up here a little bit, and that'll be the last little intersection that'll take us right into the swamp. But yeah, isn't that beautiful? Yes indeed. There's a lot of squirrels out today. So people bike this too. It's pretty sandy to bike, but some people do bike it. So there's not that many people all year that come out on this, but you'll see some people here and there. But I imagine this swamp is just a big mud hole, I'm sure, with the drought we're having. We've had a little bit of rain, like a 1/4 inch here, a 1/4 inch there, but yeah, it's not much of anything, and we're in a severe fire danger right now. So up here is the crossroad I was telling you about. So there's a marker right there. When you got one up to the left and one down below, that means you're going to take a left. So we're going to take a left here. Looks like they're doing some drainage over there. Well, we're taking a left, and you can see that you're on the right trail with that orange marker up ahead on that skinny tree there. So this will take us right into the swamp area. So there are some side trails, but they're not marked with the the orange marker. So they're not part of the trail. And but you can hike them if you know where you're going, or if you're just going up and back a little bit. But there's one of them. You see they got an old makeshift fence there that people just went around. But you always know you're on the right trail with the Marshall Swamp with these orange blazes or markers, whatever you want to call them. But a lot of people call them blazes. And you'll see another one right up here on the tree right there. And we're coming up to the swamp right up in front of us. Okay, so you can see all the cypress knees and everything out there. And you see it's dry, because this is where it would begin right here. You see how dry it is. It's like you can literally walk right out there. You could. And this would be flowing. This little drainage would be flowing pretty good. And there would be little fish, little minnows and stuff there, down there, as well as here. So this, I'm sure, even up here, as we get thicker into the swamp, because this is just the very beginning, I'm sure that it's going to be all dry. I just have that feeling here too. And I see they're bringing some drainage pipe out, some plastic back there. There was some laying. I think they're going to replace these metal rusty ones with the plastic. And that's why they have them laid out along the trail. And this is the right time to do it, when it's dry. But yeah, this is really bone dry. Look at how dry that is. I mean, crying out loud. You can walk all the way up in there. And it don't even look muddy. It looks dry as hell. Like the water's been gone for a while. So, but this is part of Marshall Swamp. Maybe there's a couple bridges I'm going over later. Maybe there'll be at least a little mud or something up there. We'll see. But this is normally all this. These bare trees are going to be covered here in another month or so of leaves, and it's dark in here. Not like nighttime dark, but very dark, to where not much sunlight is coming through, so you won't be able to see much of the sky, and that'll show you that there's no alligators out here, because they have to have that sunlight and food source. And you can see all the little fish that were in here are dead, and there's no good amount of sunshine to warm them up. So the only thing that's really out here is there'll be some good snakes out there, that's for sure. I'm assuming with the wet, dry wood and everything, there's probably some coral snakes hiding out in there. So I ain't messing around. I'm gonna stay right here on my trail. And I know they're not aggressive or anything like that, but I'll just stay where I'm at. So up here we got a service road that goes straight, and we see the 2 markers up there on the tree. That's going to tell us that we got to take a left, because the one marker is off to the left. And there's a picnic table here for hikers to sit down. And there's no hunting, shooting, dumping vehicles or anything here allowed. And here, see that tree was blown down during a storm, and they had to cut it off the trail. I remember coming out here shortly after. We just see a lot of blowdowns here, some too over here. Well, it looks like the one picnic table seat is gone, but you can sit down there and eat. I have. And yeah, see all these trees down and cut up off the trail. Oh, there's a little bit of water right there. There's a little splash of freaking muck water right up there, if you can see it. So there might be some at the bridges. We'll take a look. So here's our first little bridge over the swamp. Yeah, there's no bridge over the swamp. I mean, there is a bridge, but there's no swamp that the bridge is going over. Like I said, down there's a little splash of muck water. But that's about it. And it's not looking good. There's a couple more bridges, so maybe we'll see some of the swamp there. We're like in the thick of it now here. So this is a pretty cool stump. You can see there's a hole down there. I'm sure there's something living up under there. It's a little hollowed out on the top, not all the way. It's got the ferns. And when this thing is wet and moldy, it's really cool looking. So I'm sure there's something living in there, maybe like a little fox or something. We do have some red fox out here. It looks like about the size of one. I'll have a hole for one. And here's the bridge here, and a little bench. And this is the longest bridge. And yeah, there's nothing. Holy crap. I've never seen this part dry. It's a severe drought for real. Man, this is bone dry. Wow. I mean, there's a little bit of, you can see a little bit of mud down there. But all this is underwater. It's like a greenish algae water because it's black a little bit and stagnant. This log as well. Yeah, it goes way back. This swamp, Marshall Swamp, is very big. But wow, it's like zero water. Unbelievable. We need a lot of rain. And hopefully this summer we'll get it. Our rain season pretty much starts in May in Florida, so we still got a couple months since it's February before we get into our set rainy season. It can rain before that, of course, but the set rainy season and the downpours and everything seem to start around May. Well, they say if you stand inside of a horseshoe palm tree and make a wish, or something to that effect, you get 5 years of good luck. So I'm going to do it. So I don't know if that was make a wish or get your picture taken. I can't remember. But I did both. I stepped in and made a wish and took a picture as well. So I covered all angles. So hopefully it comes true and I get that 5 years of good luck. We'll see. I'll let you know in 5 years. Dry again. Not that I was expecting anything different, but very dry again. Now, so you know, when this thing is full of water, many times it comes over the trail as well, and you have to like walk around, and if we get lots and lots of rain, you may not be able to walk on this trail for a good bit till the water rescinds. So this is just the opposite. Last time I walked it, I had to walk around some water on the trail and some mud and everything. This is the exact opposite. It's the only second time I'm doing this full trail. I've always gone to at least that first bridge in the video you saw. I've been on to that point quite a bit because I really didn't know how long this trail was. I think it's about an hour walk. I'll let you know because I think I'm getting near the end here soon. There you can see an owl staring right at me. He just flew a little bit in front of me. He's sitting right there. How beautiful he is. He's looking at something over that way. But that was cool. That was really cool to see him fly. He's probably flew maybe like 20 feet in front of me. He's looking around. He's checking his surroundings. He did a hard right turn, hard left, and there he is right back at me again. Look at that head. It's like got a swivel. I believe they can turn their head more than any other animal. I believe the radius is pretty big. There he goes. He just flew away. So over here, just off the beaten path, is a little side trail. It's very brief, maybe like 30 feet. And it would take you out to look over the swamp here. But we see a lot of cypress knees, or the cypress trees. And we had a hard freeze for Florida here. Got down to 21 a couple days in a row and 25 and everything. So I know for some of you, like up in Michigan, New York, and Vermont, New Hampshire, all of the parts of the northeastern U.S., I know you're like, oh, that was nothing. It was minus with a wind chill of this. And I know, because I used to live up there as well, up in western New York. I know all about it. And that's a good portion of the reason why I'm here in Florida, because of the weather, and it's a lot cheaper. So I still go to New York and visit my family. But you see how the effect it's had on the trees and the brush. I mean, it's going to be a little bare anyway, but this is really bad because we had some hard freezes. And this would have been water too. I'll definitely have to come out here when we get the water in the swamp out here and film and show you what it's like with water. Okay, I'm there to the rest area, and it was about 10, maybe 10, 15 minutes away from that little stop I did. Showed you all the cypress knees and stuff. So they got picnic tables and stuff up here. And of course you can start the trail this way as well. This tells you about if the Cross Florida Barge Canal had been built in the 60s as planned, Marshall Swamp would be 13 feet underwater. The swamp sat in the path of the Dosh Reservoir. Plans called for flooding 20 miles of the Ocklawaha River and 2 miles of the Silver River so barges could cross the state's interior. The natural beauty of these rivers had inspired awe and drawn tourists for decades. The threat of destruction provoked a surge of grassroots opposition. A coalition of scientists and citizens rallied behind the slogan, "Save the Ocklawaha," and turned public and political opinion against the incomplete canal project. So, as you see over here, they were going to build this canal right through Florida so the ships wouldn't have to go all the way down and around Miami. And it was going to be a shortcut. And they started it. Just so you know, they started it on both ends, but they never finished it in the middle because of the environmental impact. It says here, the Marjorie Harris Carr Cross Florida Greenway sits on land purchased in the 20th century for a shipping canal across the state. The prolonged political struggle over the canal shows how dreams of progress and preservation shape Florida. And here's a picture of some of the construction. It erased the landscape to make way for a saltwater highway that threatened to pollute drinking water. And I am very glad they didn't finish it. And here it says, although the reservoir was never built, other canal remnants still stand. The nearby Marjorie Harris Carr Cross Florida Greenway Field Office was originally built as a headquarters for canal management. Now Florida Park Service staff plan environmental restoration projects and greenway maintenance there. You can explore the greenway to discover what the canal left behind. And here you got environmental advocates maintain that the canal was expensive, unnecessary, and damaging. Marjorie Harris Carr gave a voice to the Ocklawaha River she loved. She united scientists, economists, and activists in a group called the Florida Defenders of the Environment. At Carr's urging, President Richard Nixon halted the canal in 1971. And there she is there. And here's another one there. It shows the ships all going around. And they were going to build that, cut Florida right there, make it right through the middle. And that happens to be right by my house. So I probably wouldn't have my house because it's really close, or else I would have been right on top of the canal, like really close. And it says here, imagine a 200-mile channel crossing Florida connecting the Gulf with the Atlantic Ocean. The Cross Florida Barge Canal would have been like a moat separating people and wildlife on either side. The Greenway sits on land intended for the canal. Its story shows us how dreams of progress and preservation have shaped Florida, its people, and its landscape. And this was the guy that discovered, or actually I should say, he was a big impact on Spanish settlement in Florida. In the 16th century, Spanish conquistador Pedro Menendez de Avillas hoped to discover an easy water passage across Florida. Over the next 400 years, national and local leaders fought to secure funding and manpower to build a canal they believe would boost Florida's economy and of importance to global commerce. In 1964, construction of the Cross-Florida Barge Canal began. And the oldest street in America is in St. Augustine, and it's called Avillas, after this guy. And a lot of other areas in there are named after Pedro Menendez. Trail closes at sunset. Wear repellent, prevent Lyme disease. Dogs on a leash. A little bit of the map. Migratory birds that you will see. And we saw the owl. That was the burrowing owl. Right there. That we saw. And over there's a pavilion with picnic tables that you can sit at. Straight ahead there. And restrooms. And of course there's some construction and stuff like that over there. So in case you didn't know, we have these like hosts that take care of the trail and the areas and stuff like that. And you can see part of it is clearing equipment for the state and the county for fire and everything. And then this guy over here in the camper, he takes care of the restrooms, which were very clean right here, and stocked, and empties trash as well there and over here. And this is an area where you can camp with a tent. So you can set up a tent under here if you're hiking like longer portions of the trail. You just check in with him over there. You check in with him, the gate's open. It's not open, but it's unlocked. You go over there and you let him know like, hey, I've got a tent I've got set up over here and I'll be leaving in the morning, that kind of thing, so he knows. And yeah, you can tent over here on your way from hiking and everything. And it's really nice. And you got this beautiful pavilion here with some picnic tables and stuff. So there's a lot of those campers and stuff like that at parks in the middle of the forest and around other areas and stuff. And they just maintain and sometimes they come out and talk to you about different hazards and stuff like that. And they're very knowledgeable and they're there if you need them, and they're there to ask any questions. So that's how that works. Look at this. This is something here. You got a tree. It looks like a separate tree growing up into another tree there. Oh man, that's pretty cool. That's what it looks like there. So, but yeah, and out there is the main road. So, this is it. So across the road from where I just hiked the Marshall Swamp Trail is a continuation of the Florida Trail, the National Scenic Trail there. And it says welcome foot travel. And you just would head down that way. We have a very long, from the top to the bottom or bottom to the top of Florida trail. It's flat, not much to it, but people hike it quite a bit. And this is part of it. And when you come over from coming out of the forest there, this way, the opposite way, you can be hiking the Marshall Swamp Trailhead, Southeast Highway 314. And then you have this big sign over here that tells you about it as well. The Marshall Swamp Trail, developed by the Office of Greenways and Trails with financial assistance provided by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection and the Federal Highway Administration through the National Recreational Trails Funding Program. And you just see the orange blaze right there. And around the side, it'll take you to the trail the rest area where I was earlier, and the pavilion and the restrooms. So I'm going to sit here and drink a little bit of my bottled water I brought, just to give you a little bit of an update on how long it took me. It took me about an hour and 30 minutes to do the trail, and that was walking pretty fast. I was at a pretty brisk pace. So I'm thinking of, if you do it leisurely or whatever, you're looking at about 2 hours, which I figured. So really easily marked, just follow the orange blazes and learn about that system. If there's two and there's one to the left higher, that means you're going to take a left. If there's two and there's one higher to the right, that means you're going to take a right. And even if you're like confused or whatever, you can look a little bit down that path and see the next orange marker so that like, okay, this is the way I got to go. Or you can just walk a little bit and be like, I don't see no orange marker. And you realize that you're not on the main trail. So, but it was, oh man, it's nice. It was about a 5-7 mile an hour breeze, 72 degrees and sunny. It's nice. Like I said, the restrooms are clean. The camping guy's over there. He's got his little setup umbrella and everything to chill out. And it's like a primo job. I don't think they get paid all that much, but it's pretty cool to take care of the facilities here and the nature trail and everything like that. It's pretty cool. They give you a place to live. Yeah, it's in a camper or whatever, but what solitude, I mean, I can't see you doing it for your whole life, but some people can. I can. So, but I appreciate the people that do it. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to get going. Remember to please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, send a message, and share. Every little bit, like I said earlier, helps me out. I really appreciate it. I'm really working hard to get my subscriptions up and put out better material for you every single time. I will be going out on a ship soon. It's going to be a celebrity cruise line ship. So I will be putting out a little bit of video for that. I'm going to the Dominican Republic, a different port. So if I get enough time, I will film a little bit of that over there and the ship as well. So that's coming up. And like I was saying earlier, I'm going to be hiking as well in May, but I'll have some videos in between because I got quite a few ships I'm working in between there. So, but thank you. Thank you for everything. And like I said, I appreciate all of you subscribers, future subscribers, everything. Check out some of my shorts as well. I got an owl in that short and not too far back. And it says, wait for it. That's the title of it. And you'll see. And there's some other wildlife off the trail not far from my residence that I got on there as well that you can see. And so check out other videos on my channel that I have and shorts as well. I appreciate you and take care of yourself.